All right, welcome everybody. Entering week 4, match day 1 here between two of the top teams here. We have undisputed Wisconsin Lutheran coming in at 6-0 and Osage High School coming in at 5-1. These next 2 days of matches should be really interesting because one of our other matches is going to be Loy Norix going against Hilliard B as well. So those are the other 5-1 teams. So we should really go ahead and solidify the top 4 for this little mini league that we've been running. Going to go ahead and take a quick look here at the picks and bans right away. So on the left there we have Wisconsin Lutheran. We see right away that the Swain and Zareth and Morgana coming out. Meanwhile on Osage we see the J4, the Gallio, and... drumroll please. The Fiora. So looks like both are. I like the Morgana ban. She's just been super powerful lately, so I like seeing the removal of that. The Gallio is super good late game and getting rid of the combo there of the J4 and Gallio ultimates that just work so well together. The Fiora, I like getting rid of it because if she is ahead and she can split push, she is a nightmare to deal with. So I appreciate that too. So, and so we're going to go ahead and see Osage locking in the Ash and Leona bot lane. So big CC chains coming down there. Already getting some reports in here. Unfortunately, Wausau West has dropped out, so Baberton gets a win this match day, and Perrysburg just informed me that Newman Catholic had to forfeit as well, so they're going to go ahead and get a free dub this week as well. Going back here on our match, the Sejuani jungle and a Ramus jungle locked in here for both teams. I like the Sejuani. You know, pretty good tank, CC. Ramus is going to be hit or miss depending on... I don't like going this early for a Ramus just because if there's an additional round of CC that's going to come in for the Osage team there, he can just get rooted really easy and then it's tough. It's tough to make those engages and to make those plays. So I'll wait to see and hold my judgment on that one. But... the Talon and Set band coming out from Osage, and then the Cassiopeia and Wisconsin Lutheran's going to go ahead and no ornaments this game, so no super late game scaling. I like that. Orn is just something that's super viable if you're playing any sort of team composition. It just works so well in everything. So looking for a mid and top here. Hovering the Dunk Master Darius right there. So we are going to go ahead and see that locked in. So pretty AD heavy right now on the side of Osage. So that Ramus pick is looking pretty strong. Just able to go ahead and get that Bramble Vest and Thorn Mail and just really just let them deal damage to themselves. So... a Renekton pick goes well into Darius, but we are seeing a Mord pick. I can't imagine that that's going to flex, especially with them hovering the Lysandra here as well. So that is going to go ahead and be the Lysandra pick coming in here as well. So now the opportunity to counter pick the mid laner here for Osage. Going to be the Diana. So a lot of mobility, a lot of engage on both of those mid laners. I like the ability for the Lysandra to kind of like fake whether she's going in or not. Maybe, you know, force them to go on the back foot there. The Braum engage I like with the Caitlyn down there as well, just to be able to keep her safe, jump to her, and drop a nice shield down. I like this. There is a lot of CC on the side of Osage. And I'll be curious to see the top lane matchup here, because if Darius gets ahead, it's going to be tough there for Mord, because it's going to change how Mord builds. But I mean, overall, very AD heavy, other than the Diana. So Rammus still probably just going to go Cinder Hulk, Thorn Mails with Merc Treads. As far as the build goes, just build a little bit of MR there in order to resist the Diana. Yeah, I agree that a more aggressive jungler probably would have been better, but I mean, they're playing for team comp, and I don't mind that either. The Sejuani, I think, is really impactful, especially for the CC chain. She either knocks him up, roots him, hits him with her R. You know, Darius can pull him in. Diana can CC him. Leona can CC him. Ashe ultimate coming in. So, I mean, you could be looking at 7-8 seconds of CC just coming in from this team comp. Meanwhile, the rest of the time you can just shred the rest away. And there's nothing more aggravating than to just sit there and just get shredded down when you can't do anything. So as we are in spectator delay here, I'm going to take a quick second, get some hydration going. Just remember, everybody, hydrate before you dihydrate. All right, I'm back. Don't see any runes. Taking a quick peek around here, that surprises me. Do you see that both supports opted to go for the ignite role? Sometimes that's something that I don't mind to see, especially maybe if I was this Braum. I would consider potentially bringing exhaust, and you could drop that onto the Darius if he's coming into team fights. Or you could even stop the Ashe from dealing damage as well. Just because you got tank, melee, and so like these two kind of are going to be the ones that you really want to really slow down. I mean, I'll throw Darius that you want to slow him down too, but An exhaust could work here as well, too. Just to slow them down, stop some of the damage coming in just momentarily while, you know, your damage dealers in the back there take the advantage on that. I could see that being played out as well. I would imagine that we might see an early flash ult down into the bot lane. Her mobility isn't great, and I think Caitlyn has a good early game kit, especially with the poke on her side. Alright, make sure to jump out here into the windowed version. Throw up our overlay. Alright, so go ahead and jump back in here. Oh, real quick. Make sure I minimize everything else but the platform here. Let's go ahead. We got to rearrange some stuff. All right. So see a 5-man ping here coming out from Osage. It looks like that they are going to try to go for the top blue invade here, which I think is smart because there's not much that Rammus is really going to be able to do. They might even be able to go ahead and find Rammus out. Who looks like he is going for an early game deep ward here. Mord's going to go ahead and see that the whole team is here. There's not much that's going to be able to be done. He's going to go ahead and get pinged there by the Ashe slow, but there's not much that Mord's going to be able to do. All right, looks like Osage is canceling all of their backs other than Ashe. All right, so that's the first time that we've seen some school go for that kind of early game invade like that. And Sedge opting to go ahead and start her red. Rammus obviously going to go ahead and go for his red as well. Good leash, so I imagine that we're going to go ahead and see Rammus go up to his Raptor camps next, just because of the nice little abilities within his kit there. But it looks like he might go up to blue, Gromp, clear, and maybe look for a gank up top there onto Darius. You see a little trade going up here up on the top. There's going to be a bunch of bleed coming out there. Oh, Darius has to be careful here. Getting chunked down pretty far. Oh, the flash Q is not enough there up in the top. So that's going to be a huge play, especially if we see that this Rammus is going up top to try to clear some of that out. Mord's got the bleed now here as well. Should be hitting 2, though, momentarily once he's able to go ahead and get these minions out of the way. Caitlyn's got the early game advantage down there over the Ashe. She's got just so much more poke range. So I imagine that this is just going to be shoved in here. We do see that Sedge is coming down bot. There's a nice engage onto the Braum. Braum's able to go ahead and shield quite a bit of this away here. There's a nice big CC, and that's first blood going over. Unfortunately, Wisconsin Lutheran not able to go ahead and turn anything away there. It was really close. We see, yep, here comes the Rammus up top, but he's going to be spotted out by this little ward there. So well played placing that ward there on the side of Osage. Big slams back and forth, and that's a nice 1v1 up there in the top lane. That shield regen there, once he was able to go ahead and pop that up, just really secured that 1v1 up there against the Darius. So now Mord has a good advantage and a huge CS lead already at 4 minutes. Not even 4 minutes, already up 13 CS up there in the top lane. And Darius might not fall too far behind because Mord opted to back there. We're going to see the Rammus is able to go ahead and land some CC there. Ooh, but Sejuani is here as well, so we might have to see a flash out. There's the flash, and there's not enough damage in Sejuani's kit in order to go ahead and secure the kill on Rammus. But that is a flash down for Rammus, which for Rammus is a huge engage to just flash and then Q in and get the stun. So not able to go ahead and have that up for, what is it? It's like a 4-minute cooldown, 3-minute cooldown, something like that. I don't know the exact time, but you understand what I'm saying. Nice dodge and nice snare there. Good trap being laid there by the Caitlyn. Able to go ahead and get a nice little chunk out there on the Ashe. All right. Mord elects to go for that the Kindle gem there, so a little bit of extra health and CDR. Able to get a couple little nice pokes there, even under turret, not taking any turret shots. Darius has caught up quite a bit, though, as far as in the CC or in the CS department. All right, we see Rammus is down here in the bot lane, potentially looking for a gank. There's some pings coming out. Rammus coming in. Going to go ahead and get a nice CC down here onto the Leona, but Sejuani is also here. Ooh, the TP from the Mord coming in. The CC down onto the Braum again. Braum has to flash away. Oh, no, it's the Lissandra coming in. I apologize. Lissandra's going to come in, roots them all down, and here comes Rammus in as well. Going to go ahead and try to get down onto the Ashe. There's one for the Caitlyn. Caitlyn's going back onto the Sejuani, but Sejuani gets out with just 60-something health. Good play there. Good use of the teleport by the Lissandra into the bot lane. Meanwhile, Mord is up top here, chopping away, looking to try to get this first turret plate. I don't think he's got a wave there now, too, so he should be able to go ahead and secure this first plate, get a nice chunk of gold going back over his direction. And that's also going to be priority over the first Drake here for Wisconsin Lutheran. And they're going to go ahead and look to try to secure this. Braum's trying not to take too much damage here and just get out. All right, so Wisconsin Lutheran takes the first Drake and has a little bit of an advantage, I would say, across all solo lanes and the bot lane. So Mord's taking Darius down into the Shadow Realm here. A flash coming out there, the Ghost being used now. Darius trying to get out, but he's not able to get out. Has the little bit of bleed there onto the Mord, but it's just not going to be enough. And Darius's ultimate at level 1 is relatively weak. It's really once he hits level 11 and he's able to go ahead and get that next proc into his ultimate is where all of a sudden that true damage just gets ridiculous. So another fantastic solo kill up there in the top lane for Wisconsin Lutheran. This Mord is just going to go ahead and starting to scale up here, sitting on 1,800 gold. So the next back that he's able to go ahead and do should see a nice item buy coming in. Nothing really going down here in the bot lane. It looks like Sejuani is starting to path down. Diana is trying to come down, but there is a nice ward in the river that will go ahead and spot any of that gank coming into the bot lane. Ooh, the Leona coming in here. Braum jumps right onto Caitlyn right away. Big poke, and there's a nice trap being set. But Leona is relatively tanky, so not going to be able to do too much down there. Ashe has caught up quite a bit here on CS, too, so down a little bit early game, but definitely has caught up. Lissandra's already got that first part of the Hextech Proto belt being built there. Has the Hextech gun completed. Meanwhile, it looks like Diana could be electing to go ahead and go for like the Rod of Ages. for your first item. So, don't know how many of you watching have big knowledge or expansive knowledge, I should say, of League in general. But Braum there waiting until the cannon minion was under 1/3 so he can go ahead and get the proc of his support item. As a support, you should always hold on to a couple of those procs just for cannons because it gives much more gold and it gives a higher health regen for you and your ADC. So, try to never use it on caster minions, melee minions, and cannons really only. Diana going in. Lissandra's just going to go ahead and take a little bit of damage there, but not too much. Caitlyn and Braum starting to look to try to get some deep vision down there in the enemy jungle. Able to go ahead and drop one there by the blue ward. Since they know that Sejuani is bot, we are going to go ahead and see Rammus and Mord go for the Rift. But now, seeing that ping come out, Diana is going to go ahead and go up there and check out Rift Herald here as well. She's going to see that both of them are there. She's going to get spotted outside of the bush. And here comes the Lissandra in as well. This is going to be a 3-on-1. There's the CC. There's not much. I think Diana's going to go ahead and drop to the Mord. And Darius is here too. But Darius is going to go ahead and get CC'd as well. The ball rolling around. Still going to go ahead and secure that. So that's going to be a nice nice reward there going over to Wisconsin Lutheran. Able to go ahead and get the kill mid lane and get the Rift. And this turret, first turret could be dropping up here in top. I personally would probably look to go ahead and push together. There's no way Darius is going to go ahead and be able to stop both of these people pushing. Ooh. Did miss a play down here in the bot, and I will go ahead and rewind here in just 1 second once the play is completely done here. Ash and Caitlyn. Oh, there's the heal, and then the Leona takes the shot there as well. So we'll go ahead and jump back here, see what happens down here in the bot lane. Braum just a little bit too far forward. Doesn't realize there's 3 of them. The Leona and the Sejuani ultimate coming in here as well. Not much you can do if you're the Braum. And unfortunately, the Braum didn't. All right, so it did cancel his ultimate there as well. So that's at least a positive. Caitlyn ultimate coming out. Didn't probably need to use the heal there, especially with the Leona just jumping into lane like that. Caitlyn's got to be careful here. She's in a weird situation. So Sejuani is up in the KDA department. Mordekaiser. All right. Nice job there, too, by Osage going for that Infernal. So that does mean that we are going to have a Cloud Soul. Arguably, most would say probably one of the weakest souls that there is in the game. Rammus is down here, but rolls right on by that control ward, so not able to go ahead and make a play down here in the bot lane. The shoulders and the relic one are 80. And then the spell thief is the AP one. Right? There's only the one AP support item, right? I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't play much AP support. I'm always the big tanky boy, so it's always the shoulders and the shield. Sejuani is starting to get a little bit ahead here, too, in the CS department over the Rammus. Rammus has been trying to look for plays on the map. And so now we're going to see 2 members up top here. And the Rift is going to go ahead and be used here. Rammus is going to be there in order to help. And it's going to be 1 charge. Big gold going over. And there's really nothing that Sejuani and Darius can do in this situation but give up first turret. And that's going to be some nice big chunks of change going over to the Mordekaiser and Rammus. Diana's up here in the top. Oh, the Darius is going to go down real quick. Does get quite a bit of healing there. The Lysandra comes in to save the Rammus. Darius looking for that dunk, but not going to go ahead and find it. Lysandra able to get one. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser's trying to chase down the Sejuani, Darius not going to be able to go ahead and find anything. Oh, the buckler, huh? Ooh, nice Ash Arrow there onto the Leona. Leona's going to not be able to get away. Looks like both teams are just looking to go ahead and reset here. Top turret being taken down should open this more to be able to roam a little bit more, put some additional support somewhere else on the map. Has completed the Hextech Proto build and has that first chunk to the Leandries completed now as well. So going to give him a little bit of the magic pen there as well. A lot of wards down here on the bot side of the river for Osage. Rammus going to go ahead and lock the CC down onto the Diana. The Lysandra gets some CC down there as well. And that's a nice gank there by the Rammus. Gives it up over to the Lysandra as well in order to help his mid laner scale up a little bit more. Next Drake should be coming up here relatively soon. For some reason, the graphics aren't showing it accurately on my screen, at least. Right now, it shows that only Wisconsin Lutheran has the Ocean Soul. Rammus going in here, grabs the CC. There comes the Leona Sunfire as well, and that's going to be a dead Rammus there. A little bit too aggressive. Lysandra not able to go ahead and get in and help her jungler at all. Mordekaiser's stealing away some of these chickens here. That's the beauty when you are ahead like that. You can start to go ahead and put some pressure on those additional camps. Start to suffocate some of the resources away from the enemy jungler. Meanwhile, we see that Diana is down there in the bot lane starting to split push. Caitlyn gets tagged a little bit there by the Ashe, but it's not going to be enough to do much. Do see a lot of members lining up here in the mid lane here for both teams. Mordekaiser just split pushing by himself, and Diana doing the exact same thing. The Lysandra coming in with a huge CC chain, and then Braum just helps with it as well. Knocks them all up. Meanwhile, Caitlyn's just able to go ahead and shred them all down. That's going to be a big advantage now into the mid lane. Darius is just going to have to run away. Wisconsin Lutheran going to have another uncontested Drake. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser able to go ahead and get that tier 2 up in the top lane. And starting to put some pressure now up onto the base here. Imagine he's going to want to back here, sitting on about 1,400 gold. So I believe he's about 150 short of being able to go ahead and get his Leandries. Because I know the next piece is 850. And I can't remember. I think it's 950 after that. In order to go ahead and buy the Leandries. So, but meanwhile, the bot lane here for Wisconsin Lutheran able to go ahead and crack that tier 1 mid lane turret. And this map is getting really open now for Wisconsin Lutheran. Osage is going to have to start trying to get some vision in their own jungle in order to keep track of where members of Wisconsin Lutheran are, so that they don't get the easy flank on them. So Wisconsin Lutheran going for this second Rift Herald here. Mordekaiser is going to go ahead and find the Leona. Going to bring her into the Shadow Realm here and just start dealing some big damage here. Leona gets away there, but it's going to be at the cost of 2 ultimates. So, nice there pull by the Darius. There's some big damage coming down. 1 dunk. The Diana ult coming in as well. Darius trying to get some bleeds here. Oh, this is a huge team fight, and I can't commentate on everything that's happening right now. But that's going to be an ace for Wisconsin Lutheran. The Caitlyn ultimate there, able to go ahead and find the Ashe, trying to retreat. And so that's going to be a huge push now in the favor of Wisconsin Lutheran. They were able to go ahead and secure the Rift Herald out of that as well. Ramus is holding on to that now. And Wisconsin Lutheran has extended their gold lead to just over 6,000 with a 13-6 KDA advantage right now as well. So that was a big team fight. We see, too, Mordekaiser sitting at almost double the CS that Darius has. Darius was getting the stacks there, especially with that pull in, and then he was able to land a Q. Wanted to try to find it, but again, once he's able to go ahead and get that other point into his ultimate, that's a huge advantage there. And I'm guessing he could have gotten at least one down with his ultimate in that situation, just because there's so much true damage coming out from that. Meanwhile, both ADCs taking the red camp there from their jungler, give them a little bit of the red buff action there as well. I didn't realize, but at this point, Caitlyn is beastly. All right, she's sitting on the Infinity Edge, Berserker's Greaves, and has the next BF sword. Got some additional, some crit there as well from the cloak, and oh, I always forget. Kerchise Shard. So, sorry, not all of the items are my forte. ADC is not a role that I play, so outside of ARAM. So meanwhile, Mord is just going to keep split pushing, and Osage has to send somebody to deal with it, and that looks to be that it's going to be the Diana. But even that's going to be tough for Diana, as Mordekaiser is 3-1-6, has the completed Hex Tech and the Leandri, so he's got a lot of health and a lot of damage. Darius getting dangerously low here. There comes the ultimate there, but it's not going to be enough. But it is going to be enough for the Chilling Smite on Ramus. This is a big team fight here that could look to end the game. Osage on the back heels here, and that's going to be one more going down. The Leona ultimate coming down here as well. The Ashe trying to shred as much as she can away, but that Mordekaiser is just such a beefcake. He's able to just go ahead and shred it down. Meanwhile, Shelly gets one more charge off here, and it looks like Wisconsin Lutheran is pushing to go ahead and secure the victory and advance to 7-0 in the mini league and secure that #1 role, and that is going to go ahead and be enough. A little bit of a BM here with the teleport out of the Mordekaiser. But that was a solid W there for the Wisconsin Lutheran side. Take a quick peek here into the graphs. Yeah, that Mord, look at all that damage. Out-damaged the ADC. Diana did pretty well as far as within the damage department there. The only thing that I may critique a little bit was the Darius Rush Triforce right away, which I understand, like you're trying to get that damage going. But something as simple as like a little bit of MR, like your Merc Treads, will be helpful in your matchup against Mordekaiser up there in the top lane. You know, I know it's an 1100 chunk, but sometimes you can't just rush a single item. Breaking it up into different components that will at least help you in lane, try to catch up a little bit, and not make it so easy for the 1v1 to happen. So it's something that I myself am not necessarily always great at doing either, but I'm trying to get better in the fact of, you know, if I'm playing, I don't know, say I play, I don't know, Maokai or some tank top or whatever, I will buy the first part of Spirit Visage, the Spectral Cloak or whatever the 1200 gold is, and then build into something entirely different, just because it gives me enough MR in my matchup if I'm going against an MR laner, but it gives me just enough that I can go ahead and hold out and at least trade in lane, but it may not be necessarily my primary item. It's a reason too why you see certain builds go like Hex Tech or Hex Drinker going into Maw, but they never finish that until their second or third item. just sometimes you need that little bit of an advantage in lane. So rushing a large item, especially because Triforce is 3,700 gold, like that's a big buy. And sometimes if you're already behind, that big buy may not be great to go right into. So just a couple. That's just my opinion. That's how I personally play. But you know, whether it's the right thing or not, I'm not entirely sure. So all right, that is going to be it for me today. I have an opening now on Monday too, so if there is another school that would like their final match streamed, let me know. Otherwise, that's it, and I hope you have a great Saturday, and see you on Monday, hopefully.